All right, sometimes we have to convert a fraction power into a radical. So this video is going to go over how do you convert from radical form to fraction form and vice versa. So sometimes I'll give you radical form, we got to go to fraction form, and then sometimes we need to go from fraction form to radical form. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at, just right off the bat, let's just show the basics. Let's say we have x to the 2/7 power. So right now this would be in a fraction form. If I want to convert this into radical form, the way we do this is we look at the base number. The base number stays the base number in radical form. So I'm going to have a radical, and inside of here I'm going to have the base number. All right, that stays the same. Next we look at the fraction power. The numerator, the top number, is going to stay the power of the base number. So this is going to stay x to the 2nd power. So I keep that numerator, it stays x to the 2nd power. Now the bottom number, the denominator, ends up going outside of the radical and it becomes the index number. Okay, so I make a tiny little 7 tucked into this nice little corner right here. And this tells me, if you've seen my other video on radicals, this tells me how many tokens it takes for this x to get out of jail. If you've seen that video, I'll try and put it up here in the comments if you want to look there. But I've got an x squared. That means that this x has 2 tokens. In order for him to get out of jail, I would need 7 of them. If I showed you the full example here, if I had, let's say, x to the 5th power, so 5 divided by 5 is just 1. They basically cancel each other. But I want to show you why they cancel each other. If I was to write this in radical form, I have x to the top number, which would be x to the 5th, and then the denominator is also a 5. So this means that it would take 5 tokens to get out of jail, and guess what? We have 5 tokens. So they end up canceling each other and just equaling x to the 1 power, which you could have told me right off the bat. 5 to the 5 power cancels each other and is just a 1 power. So kind of back to the tokens idea, that is why this is going to cancel with this. The number of tokens cancels the number that the jailer is asking for. Up here I don't have enough to cancel, so it's stuck inside of the radical. All right, let's look at a couple more examples here. Again, we are converting from exponent form to radical form and vice versa. So let's just put a couple down. Let's say I have 5 to the 3/8 power. Okay, that's in exponent form. If I wanted to convert this to radical form, the 3, the numerator, stays with the 5, so I have a 5 to the 3rd power, which you might write as 125. But the 8, the denominator, ends up being the index number. So I need that to be that little tiny number that's outside of the radical. Be careful, don't put it out here too far. Otherwise, it's going to look like it's just 8 times this radical. And that would be converted from exponent form to radical form. If I go backwards, let's say we have something that looks like this. I've got the 6th root of m to the 5th power. Let's say I need to convert this into exponent form. Well, the base number is 5, so that stays 5. And the power of that is a 5. So it's m to the 5th power. But what is the index? That's going to be the denominator, so this needs to be divided by 6. So I have m to the 5/6 power. So that's just a really quick version of how to convert from exponent form to radical form. I'm going to throw one more quick thing on here real fast, and that's just a complicated version. So, all right, just real quick, what happens if it looks something like this? I have a parenthesis, 6x plus 2, and all of that is being raised to a fraction power. Well, that means that all of it is going to be stuck inside of the radical. So if I have the parenthesis 6x plus 2, all of this is going to have a 3rd power. That's the numerator. But all of it is going to have a fifth root. So I need to have a root and then a little tiny 5 stuck up here in the corner. So this entire thing, the parenthesis, the 6, the x, and the 2, all are going to have a third power and a fifth root. All right, one more quick one just to kind of make sure that we're good. Let's say we've got the fifth root of 6m to the 2/3 power. And I want to convert this into exponent form. The first thing we need to know is what are the exponents for the stuff on the inside. Okay, I've got a 6 to the invisible 1 power right here, m to the 2/3 power, and then all of that is being raised to the fifth power here, or I'm sorry, to the fifth root. So I'm going to quickly just say, okay, all of this has a fifth root. What is the power for all of it? Well, I guess all of it kind of has its own 1 power. I mean, I guess the m has a 2/3, but that's just for the m. So I could say all of this has a 1 power. I'm going to make all of this to the 1/5 power. And then quickly everything on the inside of this would be 6 to the 1 m to the 2/3. Anytime you have power to power, I can multiply. So this 1/5 is going to multiply to everything on the inside. This would be 6 to the 1/5 m to the 2/15 power. And now it's converted into exponent form. So this is just a real quick explanation on how to convert from radical form to exponent form, or vice versa, from exponent form back to radical form. I hope that helped. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Give this channel a subscribe and a like, and let me know if you have any questions or any topics you might want me to cover, and I'll try and do that soon. Have a great day.